Yes, ma'am.
And welcome once again to As the Reel Turns, your place for all things movie and TV. And we once again got a great, fantastic show for you. But before we go anywhere, let's go to the entertainment update. Take it away.
This is Drive-In Dave Lounder coming to you from Old Orchard Beach, Maine for your entertainment update. Today's update includes 2 series and a film. Remember Tiny Toon Adventures? Yeah, you do. The cartoon series from the early 90s is returning. Coming off the heels of its fellow show, Animaniacs, and its reboot, Tiny Toons Looniversity, will feature the return of your favorite characters with one small twist. The recurring joke of Buster and Babs Bunny.
Buster and Babs Bunny, no relation.
Let's hope not. It's a children's show.
Is being thrown out the window. The 2 rabbits in this will be siblings. What are they doing? A Luke and Leia thing? They were dating, for crying out loud. Look for Tiny Toons Looniversity later in 2022.
We're Toony, we're all a little loony. It's Tiny Toon Adventures, come and join the fun. And now our song is done.
Boy oh boy, does James Bond have a big announcement. Although rumors are still floating around to who could be shooting down the gun barrel next, producer Barbara Broccoli released a statement that could narrow down the search. She said, "We are looking for an unknown actor of color." What does that mean? Is EM Productions trying to be modern and woke? Nobody knows. We will have to wait when Bond 26 comes out.
Bond. James Bond.
My name's Bond. James Bond.
My name's Bond. James Bond.
Bond. James Bond.
Thank you, Mr.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Our fellow reporter Angelique reported that a series about National Treasure was coming out. Amongst other teasers and trailers shown at their D23 Expo, Disney revealed that the series is a go. National Treasure: Edge of History will explore new characters going on their own treasure hunt. Along with a new villain played by Catherine Zeta-Jones, FBI agent Sadusky, played by Harvey Keitel, and Riley, played by Justin Bartha, will return. Not to worry, though, a script for a 3rd film has been sent to Nick Cage for approval. Until then, look for Edge of History on Disney Plus this fall.
Trust no one.
What's your clue? I would love to help out.
This has been Drive-In Dave Lounder for your entertainment update. Don't forget to support your local drive-in theater. Now, back to you in the studio, Hollywood Daniel.
once again, thank you, Drive-In Dave, for doing that. That is so awesome. He is an up-and-coming actor that I have connected with, and he's doing a great job. And you can see him right now in my Doctor Who School Days show right now. He's playing the Master, and he's doing a great job. So thank you, Drive-In Dave. And do support your local drive-in. That's pretty cool stuff. So, if you have seen and followed As the Real Turns for a while now, you have gotten the idea that we have been doing Bond, James Bond the entire summer because it is the 60th anniversary of James Bond on screen. And officially, those 25 films done by Eon Productions, MGM, United Artists, all those guys. And all 6 actors, from Connery to Craig, that's what we've been celebrating. But I've always wondered, you know, there's got to be more to Bond than just those 25 films and 6 guys, right? Of course there is. James Bond wouldn't have survived 60 years if he hasn't had some kind of impact on the world and on entertainment itself. So that's what we're going to be talking about today in what we call a Part 4 of James Bond 007, The Spy World.
Secret agent man, secret agent man, they've given you a number and they take it away your name.
Gambling. Tuxedos and Bond. James Bond.
Like the tux, Sander?
Bond. James Bond. Bond. Hi, Bond.
Secret agent man.
Yeah, that song, Secret Agent Man, such a classic spy-sounding theme and just one of the many, many things that have come out from James Bond and have drawn people into watching more James Bond, which is always a good thing because not many people have seen it, unfortunately. But we're going to be talking about all those influences and parodies and more, and we have a new person to talk about James Bond with today. We got my good friend and fellow filmmaker, Dylan Tavishan. Dylan, thanks for joining us.
Daniel, thanks for having me on the show. It's good to be back again. It's been a while.
I know. You haven't been here since, I think, the first episode with Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, welcome back.
It's been a while.
I know. Well, welcome back. Welcome back. So, quickly before we go anywhere, because we have a lot to cram in here, you weren't here when we talked about official Bond. So, quick opinion, do you have a favorite Bond, and do you have a favorite Bond moment from those 25 films?
I can't say favorite Bond moment, but probably just all the gadgets. You know, my favorite Bond, I don't know, I like them all because they just bring their quirks. You have the suave Connery, you have the suave Roger Moore, but you have the more serious Daniel Craig, Timothy Dalton. You go back to, you know, the suave and, you know, ladies' man Pierce Brosnan, George Lazenby, I don't know who that is. But,
yeah, poor George. Poor George, you know, he gets really kicked to the curb a lot. But, well, that's a good review, though. That's pretty cool. So, like I said, there's 1,002 things that we could talk about when it comes to James Bond. In fact, I have a whole list here, but we don't have time to talk about that list. So, we're going to put in as much as we can. But first, I want to, start off with just a few things that the Bonds themselves have done. You know, one of the funny things when it comes to James Bond is that a lot of the actors show up in commercials. And we are going to show a few commercials here. I want to show a couple of actor commercials, actual Bond actor commercials throughout the year. So these are some starring the actual James Bond actors.
Come to my chalet, I give you Christmas surprises.
A fine bird and a good stuffing. Perfect. You certainly know how to satisfy a man.
Wait till you see what's in my stockings. You like?
Most impressive. And now I have something for you.
We appear to have finished all the champagne.
With more food, gifts and decorations this year, Tesco have made Christmas easier, so you'll have more time to relax.
Oh, Roger.
Tesco. Every little helps.
Need a light? right. Speak loud.
ID confirmed.
Bond. James Bond.
ID confirmed. ID confirmed.
Tart?
Caveat. Take a check.
Absolutely, James. Just need some ID. Driver's license to kill, that sort of thing.
Really, 007, you should use a Visa check card. It automatically deducts from your checking account everywhere Visa's accepted. Oh, it's going to explode in 5 seconds.
The Visa check card works like a check, only better.
Just joking.
See, tomorrow never dies.
Mr. Brosnan?
Here you go, house, please.
Yes.
Sorry to keep you. Traffic was a killer.
Brosnan?
I feel great, Chad.
I mean, you look...
Thank you.
You've been working out?
What you got, Chad?
Pierce, I'm so glad you're here because I got a role that is perfect for you, man.
Don't tell me. Action adventure.
Sort of. All right, picture this. We open on you. You're driving in a beautiful car up a snowy mountain road. You're going...
200 miles an hour?
No, 30. You look up in the trees and you see...
Sniper.
No, an owl. You come around a bend, there's something blocking your way.
A missile launcher, right?
No, a moose.
A moose. well, what's the mission?
Oh, there is no mission.
Top secret, huh?
Yeah, sort of. So you keep going towards the summit, your destination, and there it is, a cabin.
A cabin. And it explodes.
What? No, it's just a cabin.
No explosions.
No explosions, but there are fireworks.
Oh, I like fireworks.
Right?
Can I keep the car?
Oh, yeah, you can keep the car.
Okay, I'm in.
Punch.
Señor Craig.
Buenos días.
James Bond.
James Bond. No. No, James Bond.
Let me help you. Let me help you.
I think you have my passport.
Daniel Craig? Nice try, Mr. Bond.
So that was a lot to take in. We had like Roger Moore doing like a Christmas catalog type thing, something in England, and we had Timothy Dalton. He was doing a cigarette ad, which was very fitting for him because he did the cigarettes again. Brosnan had a whole string of them. He did like car commercials, Visa debit cards, something else, and then Daniel Craig has done a lot of Heineken commercials. That was his main thing because his Bond really amped that up with drinking Heineken. From those we just saw, does one stand out to you? I mean, you know, this is something fun. This is James Bond having fun and taking himself not so seriously.
Well, I think it's all just like kind of the corporate sponsorship and also like promotion. You know, you have a big franchise and you have, you know, a big company like Heineken or like say cigarette company like Marlboro or just go hand in hand. Promote one thing, promote the other.
Yeah, and I like the fact, you know, like in those Heineken ones, that Craig is like just having fun. You know, you watch his Bond and you think like, oh, he can't have fun, but he's really having a good time and he's cracking jokes. And I love the recent one for No Time to Die where everyone thinks Daniel Craig is James Bond, but he's really just Daniel Craig. Mm-hmm. And Pierce Brosnan did the same thing in Visa debit card, I think. So those are really fun. I really like those.
And also in the age of social media, like with Pierce Brosnan, that's when the internet came around. Daniel Craig, it's more accessible.
For sure, yeah, mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. So this next string of commercials we're going to show, and you know, in no way is As the Real Turns brought to you by any of these, but these next ones are going to feature other actors in the Bond world, and you'll see when we roll these.
Now, this is an attention grabber. Captivates anyone within 20 feet.
Buy GoldenEye on video.
And do let me get clear of the car this time.
Righto, sir.
A rocket launcher queue? You must be joking.
I never joke about my work, Stephen. Oh, that reminds me. The new replicas are ready for your inspection. Just wait. Do you mind? Right, now pay attention. All of SD Studios' replicas in the James Bond collection are manufactured from the highest quality alloys and are exact in specification to the originals in every way. This accuracy will ensure their status as valued collectibles for many years to come.
Well, in that case, 24 karat gold plating on that part could be a bit brighter. Keep up the good work, old man.
And I thought the other fellow was difficult.
To order your classic James Bond collectibles, including the forthcoming GoldenEye props, call 800-399-0299. Major credit cards accepted.
Hello there. Look, I'm just testing this highly explosive top secret Tomorrow Never Dies video game for PlayStation. The game starts where Tomorrow Never Dies ends and challenges you to think, act and behave, well, possibly not behave, like James Bond. I must say, it's lethal and it's going to explode in the stores this autumn. Look, as I'm here, I might let you into a secret. There's a new Bond film coming. We haven't got the title, it's just the number, Bond 19. And they're going to film it all over the world. It'll be opening next Christmas, 1999. That's going to be a great way to start the millennium, isn't it? Now pay attention, Sweden. They've asked me to test this new Hyundai Elantra. Combi? Now, where's the radar? Ah, here. Anyway, now the missiles. Oh my God. 21 years of total warranty. Must be a damn good car. For families, that is.
Elantra Combi. Premiär i mitten av mars.
What's this? Amazing.
Keep at it. Ah, looks like an ordinary VCR, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It's the new LG video recorder. An impressive array of features, variable speed, perfect freeze frame, and they put in an interesting modification. The LG Video Doctor checks everything. So even you shouldn't have a problem. Leave that alone. It's another make of VCR. Anything might happen. Now pay attention. Ordinary watch. With a remote-controlled bottle opener. Ordinary koozie. Oh. Electrical impulse allows only one person to drink it. Briefcase. Choose a Heineken in 0.4 seconds.
Q, why would James Bond need all these?
They're not for him. They're from a holiday.
Well, 007, how did you come to ruin this little beauty? And where exactly is the rest of this? And I suppose you can explain this.
Oh, James.
It's not easy being Bond on Nintendo GameCube, Xbox, and PlayStation 2. Rated T.
Hello, Q here. Hello, it's Q. Hello, Q speaking. Hello, it's Q. Oh, what do you want, 007? Hold on. Good evening, Em.
See the latest Bond film, Die Another Day, at a theater near you.
Mr. Bond. Heineken rychle.
Darling, you see room service, I ordered you a Heineken.
Keep walking. We've got company. I'm on my way. see you. Bond, it's Moneypenny. I've got your phone. Will you do me a favor next time? Go and pick it up yourself.
So, you know, again, there was a lot to take in there, but we had a lot of familiar faces. We had Desmond Llewellyn, Q. He did everything from video games to VHS to Heineken, which is Pierce Brosnan era. That's different. And then after he unfortunately died, John Cleese took over. He did video game commercials and a Heineken commercial. Where like everything he has is a gadget. You know, the pen's a gadget, the shoe is a gadget, the Heineken bottle is a gadget. And then we even had, come the Craig era, Eva Green, Vesper Lynn. She did a Heineken commercial, which was really cool actually. I like that. And then we had Naomi Harris, the current Moneypenny, do a Sony camera ad, I believe. But do you think that it was nice to have other actors in the films do these types of commercials, or do you think it should have been strictly, let's get the star to promote our product?
Of course, you got to have the other actors because it's a what, MI6?
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah, exactly.
And don't forget, with the before I forget, with the royal family being in the news, James Bond during the Olympics escorting the Queen.
Yes.
And the parachute out of the plane.
I was going to bring that up later, but yeah, absolutely. The classic bit of James Bond, Daniel Craig, and Queen Elizabeth, who we will always miss, parachuting in the Olympics. That's great. It's a great bit. It's a great bit. I also like there's one John Cleese ad for Schweppes tonic water. It's just fun to say, Schweppes tonic water. Where it wasn't him playing necessarily his R or Q character, but it was just a series of unfortunate events in this castle-looking thing, and it was basically a promotion to say how License to Kill was too violent for some audiences, and Schweppes tonic water does not tolerate violence. It was just a whole bunch of slapstick type of stuff, and so do you think this was maybe just foreshadowing that they picked, of all people, John Cleese, or do you think that maybe it was a little bit of something else? Do you think he's a Bond fan?
I don't really know. Probably just a little humor, tone it down. Probably aim it more for families, kids.
Yeah.
Also probably his Monty Python background, so probably got to add that in there.
And License to Kill was certainly not a...
No.
It had some violence in there, but it's still a good movie. Great movie. So yeah, those are always fun. But you know, honestly, everybody wants to be James Bond or somehow wants to be James Bond. So this final string of commercials we're going to show is going to be a string of, I call them James Bond wannabes.
Volkswagen. Simple y sencillamente la mejor compra.
Sports coupe with bulletproof glass, ejector seat,
rocket launcher, champagne cooler,
radar screen, sidewinder missiles.
One owner.
Wonder what kind of bloke would be selling a car like that?
The name's Bond. James Bond.
I wonder what he's getting instead. C007's new BMW in GoldenEye. See your dealer about a BMW of your own.
The name is Bond. James Bond. The name is Bond.
James Bond. Bond. James Bond.
James Bond. The name is Bond. James Bond.
There's only one true
Bond.
only one Heineken. See Tomorrow Never Dies and get 007 gadgets where you see this Heineken display.
Child's play. Totally wimpy. Whoa.
Shaken, not stirred.
Pepsi Max, full cola taste, no sugar.
Ever wonder what it's like to be 007? Now you know. Be Bond on PlayStation Game Console.
At last, you're here.
Enter the world of Bond. Buy Heineken now.
Doctor? No.
So yes, the James Bond wannabes. These are people that, you know, the vaguest ways possible look like James Bond, or people that are just appearing to be James Bond, something like that. And these ranged from anything like you saw there, like a Volkswagen commercial from Germany, to a Pepsi commercial where the guy's kind of like doing all different types of stunts. People say, oh, I can do that. We had the another Heineken commercial with the guy kind of entering the world of James Bond. Also, another one with both with Daniel Craig, where a Skyfall one where he's on a train. That was a huge deal, that commercial. And we also have I'm blanking on what else we just saw there. We also had the Coke commercials when Skyfall came out. Coke was a huge deal, and I loved the every sound you hear in the commercial is the Bond theme, and then the competition where you saw do you want to win a chance to get some tickets, get to platform something and avoid all the obstacles. I love that. So do you think that, Dylan, do you think that maybe it's fun to have these types of commercials where it's not necessarily the actors, but it's like, things are happening to me, I'm turning out to be James Bond?
Of course, because it's aimed at the common people.
For sure.
It's not, a big celebrity. It's, embrace your inner Bond. You see it with Star Wars, Harry Potter, Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like, whenever those big movies come out, it's the corporate sponsorship again. It's all money, but
oh, yeah.
But it's just fun.
It's a good time, absolutely.
Come on, who doesn't want those fancy gadgets?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They probably exist, but
and
that's a different story.
if it was that easy to walk up to a girl and just start singing the Bond theme and boom, she's into you, fine, yeah, definitely.
You wish.
I guess I have to drink a Coca-Cola. That was what it was like. But also in the other Coke ad, would you be able to, complete that mission, avoid all the obstacles, like the woman was stopping you, the bags were going over in the station, I think there were some joggers in the way. Would you be able to make that quest to the final destination for movie tickets?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. I mean, it looks and sounds easy, but I bet when the people were doing it, and bet anybody who would do it, it's not that easy. You had to get from one spot to the other, and I think you had X amount of time. So, commercials are definitely always a fun time. I always think of like Nostalgia Critic when I think commercials, and he says they're always in their own little world, and he's absolutely right. So get it. So if you enjoyed these commercials, look up more, because there's bound to be more out there for James Bond.
And they won't stop.
And they won't stop. No, as long as they're making Bond films, they'll make Bond commercials. So.
And not just Bond, but also Spy.
Spy in general, which is what the basis of this show today is about. So, as much as those commercials were parodies and fun and stuff like that, there have been true parodies made. And let's get into those. So, if you remember way back when we talked about Sean Connery, he made 5 films before he first retired. And his last film, You Only Live Twice, was released in 1967. However, fans were given a second Bond film of sorts in 1967, that being Casino Royale. There it is. So this is not the Casino Royale you think it is. This is no Daniel Craig. It's no interesting torture scene. Nothing like that. This is a straight up, on purpose parody. Yes. As we've mentioned throughout these shows, Eon Productions did not have the rights to Casino Royale. So another filmmaker decided to go ahead and make their own parody of James Bond. And the idea of it here is that all of these people you're seeing are James Bond. We have Woody Allen, Peter Sellers, Orson Welles. Orson Welles is in this. You saw Ursula Andress, the first ever Bond girl, is James Bond.
A chimpanzee is James Bond.
A chimpanzee. David Niven. David Niven is James Bond.
A seal.
Yeah. So, with all of these types of things, Dylan, what the heck is this movie? What is 1967's Casino Royale?
It's a movie that was plagued with production problems.
Okay.
It is not good. It's if you want stupid James Bond, then here you go.
Stupid James Bond.
Basically, the plot is Bond has retired, but finds out that there is a ton of other people named James Bond. And then there's his evil nephew, Jimmy Bond, or Dr. Noah, played by Woody Allen. Again, it is not good. It is wasted a big ensemble cast. Ursula Andress, I don't know what she's doing in this.
Well, yeah, it's a huge cast, huge names.
I've watched it. It makes no sense. You can see it from. It's very 60s if you.
Very 60s, absolutely, yeah. And I mean, but you know, they do keep the characters. I mean, like there is a actual singular James Bond. There is a Le Chiffre. I think there is a Vesper.
Yep.
So all the characters that you know from the Daniel Craig film are there. It's just presented in a way that makes zero sense.
Well, it's just because all the production problems. There was hostility on sets, writers coming and going. Yeah, and it shows.
Yeah.
It shows.
Yeah. I mean, you know, It's kind of funny that you have David Niven and Peter Sellers together in this movie, and you know we would see them beforehand in Pink Panther, and again later on in years. But it's you know what I just don't understand why they would make this movie, and this is not the first time where we've had competing Bond films, and I can probably guess that You Only Live Twice did considerably better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that's an official Bond film with doing it right and stuff like that. So, if you're looking for a Bond film that has no gun barrel, this is not like Daniel Craig's type of mischief going on with no gun barrels, but this has no gun barrel, no actors from the official series.
Except Ursula Andress.
Ursula Andress, yeah. And nobody else. But if you want something real silly, go ahead and watch 1967's Casino Royale. Or if you want to play a really good April Fool's joke on your friends, say, we're going to watch Casino Royale and stick this in instead of Daniel Craig.
And just remember, it looks like an aspirin, tastes like an aspirin, but it isn't an aspirin.
That's right, yeah. That's a good line in that movie, yeah.
It's actually a walking atomic bomb.
I love it. See, at least they still have quips here and there. So
I mean, Peter Sellers, come on, Woody Allen, known for their comedy.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Again, Orson Welles and Ursula Andress and other big names are in there. Someone need a paycheck?
Charles Boyer, yeah. No, there are a whole bunch of names in that.
Oh, just the ending casino fight. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
You gotta watch it. It's cowboys and Indians and all the James Bonds fighting and
even the chimp.
Even the chimp and the seal.
The Americanator, it's arrived.
One.
went to a heavenly spot. The seventh one is going to a place where it's terribly hot. The formula is C with a 007.
1920s police and the French Foreign Legion and Native Americans parachuting into the casino.
It makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, I don't know about you, but yeah, no. So give it a watch if you want, but just strap in because it's not what you think.
Wash it down with some vodka martinis.
There you go. Yeah. But yeah, so this was like the only unofficial Bond film there ever was for a long time. You know, whoever made this said, okay, maybe we should stop right there. But no, that didn't happen. Flash forward, we've been doing pretty well. We had Connery, Lazenby, up to more. And we've mentioned this man's name before, and we've always ragged on him, and we're going to continue to do that. There was once a man named Kevin McClory. Kevin McClory, he was the guy responsible for making a hullabaloo on Thunderball, the 1965 Connery film. So McClory said, you know, I'm done. He walks away, and he still had ownership of Thunderball. So come 1983, he goes ahead and he says, hi there, Eon Productions and people. Go ahead and make your new Bond film for 1983. I'm going to make my own. You do that, pal. So while Eon Productions was working on one of the good Bond films, that being Octopussy, Kevin McClory was working on a film called Never Say Never Again. Now, Never Say Never Again has two things going for it. One, they have this guy's name. They have Sean Connery. So they said, we're going to dangle Sean Connery in front of the fans and see how they respond. The next is the title. The title comes from Connery himself. When he retired from the role the first time, after You Only Live Twice, and then he said, I'll never do it again. And after Diamonds Are Forever, he retired the second time, and he said, I'm definitely never ever doing it again. Well, here he is a third time. Never Say Never Again. There you go. But don't be fooled. This is not really a brand new film. This film is actually Thunderball in disguise. Because McClory only had ownership of that one singular plot, he had to only make that singular plot again. Of course, he had to change a few things to catch up with modern day. And we also are given the fact that James Bond, again, is sort of retired. He's kind of getting older, but he's kind of roped into this new mission. Or I say new in quotes. There's some things going for this movie. I mean, the bike chases are pretty famous. And, I mean, Connery is old, but looks okay. And we also have, although it's a repeating Bond girl, we have Kim Basinger in this film. So that's some names. We also have Max von Sydow as that one character who has been played by Donald Pleasance, Telly Savalas, and Charles Gray. Blofeld.
Don't forget Christoph Waltz.
And Christoph Waltz, yeah. So, Never Say Never Again. Is that as much of a train wreck as Casino Royale is? Both of them? Oh, burn, sorry. But is that as much of a train wreck as 1967, or is it even more?
It's not actually a train wreck. It's not even a bad movie. It's just unnecessary. You already got Thunderball. Come on.
Yeah.
It's a much better film. But, I mean, Never Say Never Again. It's... If someone were to say this is a official Bond entry, maybe had a different actor, or still Sean Connery, I think it would still work. Just maybe change the plot around.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, and I do like how they worked it in, like, oh, Bond is aging, he's retired.
Yep.
You know, he's at a health clinic. He's not the spy he once was. Mm-hmm. It works, but again, kind of unnecessary. But Kim Basinger, one of the more successful Bond girls.
There you go. Yeah.
Hello again. I do owe you an explanation. My name is Bond, James Bond. May I offer you a drink? Hard or soft?
Soft. I'll have a double Bloody Mary with plenty of Worcestershire sauce.
I hate to think what you mean by hard. Vodka on the rocks for me.
Yeah.
And this, I think, was one of her first movies. I might be wrong, but
it's
the start of her career.
Yeah, and it's pre Vicky Vale for Batman.
Yeah.
So that's something as well.
But it works. But
yeah, and I have,
it didn't need to happen. I think it happened. It was Kevin McClory flexing his muscles.
Oh,
saying,
absolutely.
Hey, I got Bond.
Absolutely.
I did this. Take that.
Yeah, and I have a VHS release of Never Say Never Again here, and I love how on the back it says the real 007 back, older, grittier, greater than ever. Yeah, okay, about that. But yeah, no, and 1983 was called the Battle of the Bonds because Roger Moore was doing Octopussy, which did considerably better than this. But yeah, no, I think just because you have Sean Connery doesn't mean it's gonna fly. And you had a rival studio, you had Warner Brothers making it, and not even the director of The Empire Strikes Back, who directed this film, could save the day. So that's kind of unfortunate.
Well, who was in control though? It was definitely Kevin McClory.
It was definitely Kevin McClory. Yeah. An okay theme song. It's a little weird, but it grows on you.
Forget about long-range plans, 'cause this man's got his own to get mixed up with a man who says never. Maybe big trouble, but then I just could be the woman to take you and make you never say never again. Never say never again. Never say never again.
But yeah, no, Never Say Never Again is definitely, people always see it as that Bond film that's there, but let it be known, like the 67 Casino Royale, it is not official, it does not exist, it's just out there,
But for being a movie though, it's not bad.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So let's go into some more parodies here, which are actual parodies. And, I'm going to just get it out of the way here. When you think James Bond parody, to a lot of people, you can't help think of Austin Powers. Yeah, Austin Powers. It's that movie. It's that trilogy, actually, that stars Mike Myers as Austin Powers, this 60s guy who's been frozen for God knows how long, and he's been resurrected, I guess, in modern day, and he's like super 60s, and the other thing is he goes up against a very Blofeld-looking villain, also played by him, Dr. Evil, who is always looking for $1 million. So, and there are 3 films in this trilogy. We have the first one here in the trailer, which is the Austin Powers International Man of Mystery. The sequel, which is The Spy. What is that?
Spy Who Shagged Me.
That's it. Thank you. That's it. And then the third one, which is
Goldmember.
Goldmember. Thank you. Yeah. That proves it right there, folks. That I'm not the biggest Austin Powers fan. I'm not the biggest Mike Myers fan. Mike Myers is okay, but yeah, no. What was it that made people love this series, and what are the connections to James Bond for Austin Powers, Dylan?
Everything.
Dr.
Evil, come on, bald, Blofeld, got the cat. Number 2, Largo, eye patch.
Largo.
Using a Walther PPK as his gun.
Oh, well, okay.
The gadgets, all the henchmen, who was it, Frau Verbissner is Irma Bunt.
I think we just saw an Odd Job type of person there.
Random Task, who's
okay.
Thankfully in prison, the actor.
Ooh, okay.
He did some bad stuff. Murder.
Oh, nice.
The real Odd Job was better.
Yeah. What else though?
Goldmember, come on, Goldmember, Goldfinger. It's 60s, so it's Sean Connery. It's an awesome theme song.
It is a popular theme song.
Quincy Jones, come on.
Was it?
Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones. Okay.
The gadgets, just everything's a parody.
Okay.
If you think of James Bond, this just made fun of it.
Absolutely, yeah. This is one of those things that definitely comes into play for Bond parodies. And they're working on a fourth film, aren't they?
Trying to. Vern Troyer died, who was Mini-Me.
Ah, yes, yes.
He is exactly like you in every way. Except 1/8 your size.
Breathtaking. I shall call him Mini-Me.
Probably, I don't know if it will come out. I mean, it's 3 films is fine.
Yeah.
I love the series. It will make you crack up, and you will. But for what we got, it's great. Fourth one, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Right. Yeah. No, and I agree. It's a very popular theme song. Again, maybe I just have to get into the groove for it, but it wasn't for me. There are other Bond parodies out there that I would rather prefer, but that's just me. But you're absolutely right. It is a key point for any Bond parody. It is one of those top tier ones.
And Sharks with laser beams.
Sharks with laser beams, yeah.
And actually, with that, yes, it's a parody of Bond, but it's become its own franchise as well. With the theme song, you think of, you have Spy Nights at orchestras or themes. It's so quotable too.
Absolutely.
So,
$1 million.
$1 million.
$1 million.
But let's keep going with the parodies. But so if Austin Powers was definitely this one of the top tier things, kind of a forgotten one sometimes is when you take Mr. Bean himself, Rowan Atkinson, and you make him James Bond, essentially, in a trilogy again, called Johnny English. Now, again, I will be in the dark about this slightly because I actually have not seen Johnny English. It seems like a funny thing. It seems just like funny James Bond. Because of all people, you'd never pick Rowan Atkinson to be James Bond, for crying out loud.
Does he talk?
He does talk. He does talk, yes. That's a good point. But basically, hilarity ensues, and he does do a lot of his Mr. Bean shtick. A lot of physical action, physical humor, and slapstick and stuff like that. But they made 3 films out of these. I believe they're Johnny English, Johnny English Reborn, and Johnny English Again, or something like that. Dylan, what are your thoughts on this series?
I have actually not seen this. I've heard of it, so I can't comment. Looks funny. I mean, Rowan Atkinson is very funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Never seen it. So
yeah, no,
I'm not going to comment.
It seems like it would be a clever idea, and I mean, I definitely. I'm in the way of seeing a lot of Bond parodies. I mean, he's got all the things. He has like silly gadgets. He's got the white tux. He looks like he's introducing himself there, like James Bond. What do you think of casting? Would you cast Rowan Atkinson if it were supposed to be a funny Bond film?
He is a comedian. He does work. He is physical comedy, so
yeah,
it works. Again, I haven't seen this, so I can't comment. I've not seen clips of it or any of that, so
right. Yeah, no, and that kind of like brings it into the point I said before, where it's kind of like it's kind of forgotten. People don't really know about it, but yeah, I think I would give it a watch. I would see how it's like. Hey, it could be a good parody.
I know Mr. Bean. It just feels more like Mr. Bean as Bond rather than Rowan Atkinson parodying James Bond.
Right. I get that.
Like a special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they've made 3 movies, so that's got to mean something. Let's keep going here. Like, now, if Rowan Atkinson is a British comedic genius, one of the American comedic geniuses is Leslie Nielsen. Leslie Nielsen. He'll always show up in something, and we have him doing a Bond parody film simply called Spy Hard. So Spy Hard is, it took me a while when I was researching this, and even beforehand I was looking up things about Bond. Spy Hard. What is with the name Spy Hard? And then it hit me. Die Hard, of course. And we have Rowan Atkinson, Leslie Nielsen here as this James Bond-esque character, and the jokes just start flying. I mean, we had Ray Charles driving a bus here. We have a Pulp Fiction joke, it looks like there, and there's even there's a joke about his number, like 007, but like WD-40. That's it, WD-40. He's WD-40. We have a whole bunch of cameos as well, like the Ray Charles thing there. And of course, I'm going to show this later on. A theme song, because James Bond in the theme songs, we have it done by Weird Al Yankovic. Of course we do. I love it. So, Dylan, what do you think about Leslie Nielsen doing a James Bond type of film?
I haven't seen this movie, but it looks really funny. It's by the same guys that I believe did the Scary Movie.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And all that. So I haven't really seen this. I do love Leslie Nielsen. He is so funny.
Yeah.
Naked Gun.
Naked Gun, yep.
Airplane.
Which in itself can be a parody, sort of.
Yep. Airplane.
Airplanes
is big. So I'd give it a watch. It does look funny. I'd say it's more of a parody of the spy genre itself than Bond, because Spy Hard, Die Hard, parody of all those action movies. Here we are laughing.
Exactly, yeah, absolutely. And you saw there in the trailer, the villain of this movie is played by your old town sheriff, Andy Griffith.
Oh, God.
How do you feel about Andy Griffith playing a villain, a spy Bond-esque villain?
Maybe it's funny.
Yeah, you'd never pick him. Maybe that's why.
Well, it's the comedy, so.
Exactly.
Oh, Weird Al. He's also in The Naked Gun.
Yes. I mean, you can't get rid of Weird Al. Yeah, he is in The Naked Gun, though. Yeah, absolutely. And if you haven't heard that theme song, you gotta listen to that theme song.
A man of intrigue, he lives for the thrill. Always has places to go and people to kill. Danger is the game he plays, and he holds every card. 'Cause if you wanna win, you gotta spy hard. By the way, if you walked in late, allow me to reiterate the name of this movie is Spy Hard. They call it Spy Hard. You're watching Spy Hard. It's the theme from Spy
That is too good to pass up. I mean, with all the silhouettes of everything swimming like in Thunderball, it's so good. It's Weird Al. Now, one of the parodies that is, again, kind of forgotten because people see the title and see the characters and they say, no thanks, I'm good, is, bear with me here, folks, Looney Tunes, Back in Action. Okay, now, I want you all to watch this trailer very, very carefully because you're going to see we have some smoke going on. We have these mysterious shapes. Oh, look, there's a girl. Oh, wait, no, wait. These shapes look familiar. Wait a minute. So, what's going on here? Oh, wait, maybe we have a circle. What could be in that circle? I don't know. Oh, we have a silhouette of someone shooting. It's 007! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, never mind. So yes, Looney Tunes back in action. It is a Looney Tunes movie disguised as a Bond film, or vice versa. If you haven't seen this movie, please give it a watch. It is so darn funny. But you have Brendan Fraser, Jenna Elfman, and an unrecognizable Steve Martin as this very, over-the-top villain. And do you want more Bond connections? Well, I'll be happy to give you one. How about a gadget-filled car and our most serious Bond actor, Mr. Timothy Dalton. Yes, Timothy Dalton is in this movie. You would think Roger Moore, but no, this is License to Kill, Living Daylights. Dylan, you and I are both big fans of this movie. I remember you and I would quote this movie like all the time. We still do. And you're still laughing about it. Why is Looney Tunes Back in Action a spy film and definitely a James Bond film?
One, it's Looney Tunes, come on. And you have Timothy Dalton making fun of himself, Damian Drake. He's even playing, he's an actor in the movie playing who's a star of a big spy franchise.
A super spy.
License to Spy.
License to Spy.
That's the new big movie that's coming out. And he turns out to be an actual spy. He even owns the Aston Martin with the
Aston
rockets and the machine guns and this scene where Bugs has the martini with a carrot in it.
What does this one do?
Shaken, not stirred, sir.
Well, it's 5 o'clock.
It's definitely a James Bond parody.
Yeah.
The chairman, Steve Martin, he's running a big corporation, Acme.
Your friend's efforts will prove to be futile. You see, here is the blue monkey. Here is the Acme satellite.
With the blue monkey, it's finally docked in the satellite. I will transmit a beam around the world, which will transform everyone but me into monkeys. Now, take them away!
And he is...
Might as well be Spectre.
Yeah, he's so unrecognizable in that. But yeah, no, and they're just having a great time, and you can see it, and you can see the joy on Timothy Dalton's face, or I don't know if it's joy or embarrassment, the fact that, oh my gosh, I'm in a Looney Tunes movie and I was James Bond for crying out loud.
No, I think he's showing he can make fun of himself.
Yeah.
So.
Son? Dad? I wanted to keep you out of this, but there's no one else I can trust. Can you hold on a second?
Are you shooting a movie or something?
A new Damian Drake movie? Cool.
Come to Las Vegas! Ask Dusty Tails for the blue monkey.
Son will scuttle your diabolical plans and save the world.
You're awfully spunky for a man in your position. How do you like that, Mr. Slap yourself in your own face?
Dad!
Saw that one coming.
Look into your heart, DJ. You know it's true. You're right, it isn't! Let's do some drills.
This doesn't make a lick of sense.
Noise, son! You come, but judging by the vibrations of these train tracks, I've got about 1 minute. I knew I could count on you. Dad, I think we should move. What's wrong with Beverly Hills? I meant from this spot. Damien.
I'm a really big fan of your son.
Himself, that's the thing I'm trying to still wrap my head around. It's him, of all people. But yeah, no, that is a major, major Bond parody. It is so much fun, and we'll talk about that movie more when we talk about live-action cartoon hybrids. But yeah, for the Bond elements, oh my gosh, are they there.
Well, you mentioned James Bond wannabes. Come on, it's Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. James Bond wannabes trying to be action heroes. You got Brendan Fraser, who's like, oh, I gotta go save my dad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, definitely give it a watch. It is so much fun. You're going to have a great time with it. Let's jump over to some TV stuff here, because the television world has some parodies when it comes to James Bond as well. And if Austin Powers is on those top tiers of parody in the film world, one of the top tiers in the TV world is a little series from the 60s and early 70s, I think, called Get Smart. Now, a lot of people may know this show because of the film that came out. Well, yes, that happened, but this was the thing beforehand. Get Smart, starring Don Adams as Maxwell Smart, Agent 86, and Barbara Feldon as 99, his partner, girlfriend, and wife. We also see this was the classic intro you saw at the beginning of every episode, and the title itself is a double meaning, like let's go get him, as in let's go after him, and Max is unfortunately not the smartest person in the world, so it's Get Smart. And you also see why this was such a parody, and right there we saw the name Mel Brooks. Yes, Mel Brooks was a creator of this series. So that's gotta mean something when it comes to parody. But everything in this show is a parody. The intro, he was wearing a tux, the gadgets, like the classic shoe phone.
This is Smart. Maxwell Smart, Agent 86. Hello, Chief. Max. What's up? Chaos, eh? Yes, sir? I'll be right over. I may be a few minutes late, Chief. Hello, Control Central. This is Agent 86. Stand by to execute checkpoint tracking plan on Harvey Satan. Are all our agents at their proper checkpoints? Good. I'm putting a hold on my shoe and switching to my wallet.
The Cone of Silence, which was always a good time.
We can talk under the Cone of Silence.
The Cone of Silence?
Well, this is a magenta alert, isn't it?
The Cone of Silence. I am deeply concerned about the conference room.
What?
I'm concerned about the conference room.
And the evil organization Chaos. So, Dylan, this was like one of the big things to come out of Bond Parodium. What made this so successful? It ran for like 5 seasons.
Well, one, it's funny.
Yeah.
2, it's it also branched out to be its own genre, like not just parodying James Bond, but it's the spy genre again, and it's Don Adams. Come on,
yeah, Don
big
Adams.
comedian.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's so successful, and Mel Brooks too.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks, starting off, and here you go. Everything's there, all the ingredients are there. You get something great.
For sure, yeah.
The telephone shoe.
Yeah, it's a classic.
And you mentioned the movie. I have seen the movie. It's hilarious. Steve Carell.
Steve Carell.
But I think also that brought it back into public eye.
Yeah. Yeah, and there were things before the movie came out. I think there's like a Get Smart Again, I think.
Return of Maxwell Smart.
Return of Maxwell Smart. They even made a feature film with Maxwell Smart.
The Return of Maxwell Smart.
Was it that or The Nude Bomb?
Yeah, The Return of Maxwell Smart. It's both titles.
It's both. Okay.
Yeah, Chaos is inventing a machine that destroys clothes, so their clothes can take over the market and rule the world. It's really bad.
That's classic Get Smart. Yeah, but yeah, no, it is really a good film, and the chemistry between Barbara Feldon and Don Adams was good.
I cannot open that door unless I am absolutely sure that it is really you. Oh, it's you. Come on in. You and I were locked in.
But how?
I don't know. The doors must seal automatically when the water is released.
Oh.
This is some kind of shatterproof glass. 99? This is no ordinary phone booth.
What do I do?
I don't know. If I had a gun, we could blast our way out.
I've got a gun.
Oh, good. Give it to me.
Oh, no, I left it in my purse in Dr. Brown's waiting room.
Huh?
Under and by virtue of the Judge of District Court of the District of Columbia, I pronounce you man and wife.
And I believe there was a commercial a few years ago, like a Super Bowl commercial, where a guy is walking through all the doors, but it turns out, I don't know what it was for, but like every door he walks through is like a clothing store for like ties and
that's
suits. Funny. And it's obviously a Get Smart.
Yeah, I mean, this door sequence is almost as famous as like the Mystery Science Theater one.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, it's really, really a good series. Like I said, I think it was a like 5-season run. So if you get a chance to watch it, please do. You're gonna enjoy it a lot, and if you do, you're going to miss it by that much.
And I mentioned it did take a life of its own, too.
Yeah.
So it's not just a Bond parody, it's a spy parody.
All
it's
of
a
these,
comedy show
yeah.
with spies.
Yeah, exactly.
So it has its own identity.
All of these take on their own identities, which is really, really
You
nice.
are killing me, Seymour. Killing me a slow death with this idiot spy business.
Mother, you don't understand.
What is there to understand? I'm looking at my son, Seymour Goldfarb, Jr., son of Seymour Goldfarb, God rest his soul, and heir to the Goldfarb Girdle's fortune. And what is he doing? Walking around, acting like he was some goy movie star named Roger Moore. And for this, I sent you to the best schools. For this, I'm spending $8,000 on orthodonture work. For this, I'm going broke paying that Beverly Hills analyst. And now, this. The sleep-in maid found it under your pillow this morning. What is the meaning of this?
The meaning, Mother dear, is a quick death. I warned you not to interfere in my affairs.
Seymour, put that away. It's liable to go off.
I'm terribly sorry, Mother, but you know too much. You see, in my business, even the deepest family relationships aren't worth a farthing.
Farthing schmarthing. No.
Zikazin, Mama.
Why, where did I...
Step back, my dear. I must warn you. I'm Roger Moore. Roger Moore.
And that's what you want. You don't just want a
Yeah.
cheap parody, cheap knockoff.
Exactly,
Call it
yeah.
comedy. You want it to be.
Yeah,
its
I get
own.
that. One of the other things that actually Don Adams had a hand in was, and I use this one in a very iffy way. Don Adams is involved in it, but I'm going to leave that up for you to decide if this could be a Bond parody or it's just, again, maybe its own identity. Get ready for some nostalgia. How about Inspector Gadget? So Inspector Gadget, I put this in here for a couple reasons. Because, for one, Don Adams, Maxwell Smart, James Bond, Kevin Bacon. Another reason is he's also kind of a detective spy, more detective. But when we talked about this on the original radio run of As the Real Turns, Dylan, you said, when I asked, does it count for Bond, you said absolutely. Do you still agree with that?
Yes, but it's also, again, more parodying the spy genre
Okay.
than James Bond. Look, I mean, because James Bond is so influential, you have to realize, like, when you parody spies, you have to bring a James Bond reference. The gadgets, the evil organization, the villain, the comedy, the slapstick comedy. I'm sure there's Get Smart references in here.
Maybe.
Do we mention Matthew Broderick?
Well, I don't know about that. But
Dr. Claw.
Dr. Claw, yeah.
It's supposed to be like Blofeld or Dr. No.
Dr. No. And I remember you saying when we did that radio show that it's in the name, Gadget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I count it, but I count it very lightly. it's there. There's a lot of good things about it. I mean, you could maybe say the Chief is like M, but no, maybe not. I see more maybe some Pink Panther vibes as well.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I get that.
But even then, we'll get into it, but Pink Panther is itself references James Bond.
For sure, yeah.
So,
Peter Sellers.
Spies. Bond.
Ding.
Come on.
There you go.
Even the more serious shows, you do have to mention James Bond at some point.
Yeah. Let's bounce back to movies real quick, because I do want to include a couple ones that, they have the word spy in them, but do they really count for Bond? The first one is a series a trilogy that was made that I never really got on board. It's not because I didn't like it, but it just never got on board. Spy Kids. So Spy Kids was that trilogy of film, that series of films done by Robert Rodriguez. And, okay. We have all the elements presented there. We have, gadgets, we have cars, we have over-the-top villain, we have handsome guy, nice-looking lady. It's all there. Look, underwater car. So it's all there, but here's the real question. Dylan, do these films count?
Again, I think it's more in the spy genre parody than a James Bond. I mean, just because you have an organization doesn't automatically make it like something like a Spectre or Chaos.
For sure. But look, we have gadget-filled watches, all this type of stuff. An underwater car, where have we seen that before?
When you think about it, though, it's also toys. Kids, toys.
Sure.
And like you, I never really got into this. I remember when Spy Kids 3D came out, everyone was walking around with the 3D glasses. Yeah. Even I had some that someone gave me, and I was like, these are awesome. But yeah, it's not something I've really gotten into. It's a lot of big actors, but it's just, to me, it felt too like childish and like cheap.
Yeah. Well, these were Robert Rodriguez's kids films, which have a lot of green screen, a lot of CGI,
a lot of big names.
Yeah, Antonio Banderas is in there. Zorro.
Stallone.
Oh yeah, Sylvester Stallone. Yeah.
Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah, Ricardo Montalban. Khan. Yeah.
George Clooney. He's the president.
Is George Clooney in there?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah. Again, though, I don't think this
Jetpacks.
I don't think this is a Bond parody. Influenced.
Influenced. Yeah.
But it's its own.
Yeah.
It's its own thing.
I remember, like, these were the films coming out, and then in between them was the really weird movie of Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Didn't like that.
That's like totally Mystery Science Theater worthy, if you ask me. I'd love to riff on that. But yeah, okay, it's a spy movie. It is what it is, I guess.
Spy, but not Bond.
Yeah, exactly. A few other things that are in there are a movie I actually just saw for the first time, which was The Spy Next Door, Jackie Chan. I immediately fell in love with this movie. I actually thought it was really funny. It was cute. Jackie Chan, George Lopez, Billy Ray Cyrus. It's essentially a family movie about a Jackie Chan who's a big-time spy, lives next door, takes care of the kids for a couple days. So that's kind of fun.
Word like this is cool. I saw it in the movie.
What movie? Octopussy? This isn't 1985.
I saw that movie in theaters.
Yeah.
It was okay. But
yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. Also, there was a series out there called James Bond Jr., which was like James Bond's nephew, and they had weird designs of the classic villains like Jaws and Oddjob. It was in that vein of like where they were always making series out of movies like Karate Kid, stuff like that. Weird, maybe skippable.
No, with actually all these series, I'm surprised, and also like Netflix, Disney, Hulu, name a streaming service, there hasn't been a Bond series.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there really hasn't.
I know it.
Because they're making like the Mighty Ducks and all the Star Wars, Marvel.
Star Trek.
Might be due for something.
Yeah. Let's quickly go through some influences because we're running a little low on time, but there have been so many parodies. One of the biggest influences for the spy world that came off of James Bond, I would say, was the classic series Mission Impossible. So Mission Impossible was always a good time. That lasted, I think, maybe 4 to 5 seasons, and had a lot of spy elements. One of their classic things was, of course, the intro here with the match going across. They had different faces pull off for disguises. Famous faces like Greg Morris, Peter Graves, Martin Landau.
Who was in Looney Tunes? Peter Graves.
Peter Graves, yeah. Yeah, Peter Graves, Martin Landau, Greg Morris, my man, Leonard Nimoy, and then others as well. As we watch the famous intro here.
And the theme song, you cannot forget the theme song.
Unmistakable theme song, which is ingrained in everyone's spy memories. Mission Impossible.
I'd say it's a spy, not so much Bond, but when you think of, this is more the serious side, not parody.
Yep.
So.
Do you like Mission Impossible?
I do.
Yeah.
Still going strong, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and again, after the series wrapped, I think they got a resurrection somewhere in the 80s, 90s. And then, the big film franchise with Tom Cruise. Are they milking it dry, you think?
I don't know, but it's like Bond. If it makes money.
Yeah. Tom Cruise is going to keep doing those stunts.
The truth or falsity of this information is so important that they are sending their most brilliant intelligence officer, Stefan Miklos, to investigate. Your mission, Jim, should you decide to accept it, is to make Stefan believe Townsend's information. As always, should you or any of your IM force be caught or killed, the Secretary will disavow any knowledge of your actions. This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Good luck, Jim.
So Mission Impossible is a definitely launching, came off the diving board and just jumped into the spy world.
And I think a lot of parodies don't just parody Bond, they parody Mission Impossible, Get Smart.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. Another
spy is a genre itself.
It really is. It really is, and that's what we're talking about. Another serious influence is The Man from U.N.C.L.E. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was a big show. Robert Vaughn, I believe his name is. I always get the Roberts confused. And U.N.C.L.E. was one of those organizations again, global organizations. This didn't last as long as Get Smart and Mission Impossible, but it was still there. It was still an influence off of Bond. I call it anyway. What are your thoughts on Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
I've heard of it, but
Harry Mudd.
It's not something I've seen, so
yeah.
Again, no comment.
Yeah.
Spy, part of the genre.
Exactly. There was also, I believe, the girl from U.N.C.L.E. or the woman from U.N.C.L.E., something like that, which was a spin-off type thing. And they even had a TV movie reunion, I think 80s, 90s again, where this is a great cameo. We have a Aston Martin driving by in this big chase, gadget filled, license plate says JB, and guess who's driving it? George Lazenby. George Lazenby, that's his one big Bond comeback. But he also did another one that's kind of has a Bondian theme to it, so that's kind of cool as well. Another, I say it very, again, like Inspector Gadget, very vaguely, was a show that kind of came before Bond, but has some Bondian elements. That being The Avengers. No, it's not the Marvel people, okay? This was a spy show. This was more just, straight spy show from the 60s, early 70s. And one of the big Bond connections was, actually two of them. For the early couple years, we had Honor Blackman, Pussy Galore, and there we have it, James Bond's wife, Tracy Bond, Diana Rigg. So, do you think that maybe Eon Productions saw the two of them in this series and said, oh, they'd be great as Bond girls? Or do you think that The Avengers stood alone as its own spy show?
I've heard of The Avengers. I think it's again an influence, and I think casting directors do that. Like, hey, I saw you in this movie, you'll be good, so you should be in this one. And so, I mean, when you have a big, say, like franchise or something influential, you're going to want to capitalize that. Look at Moonraker. Sure. Came out because of Star Wars.
Exactly.
Star Trek, like the movies, Star Wars. So I think Bond saw this and decided to say, hey, if this works, we'll work too.
I like that. And I also want to tag in on a third connection. The star himself, Patrick Macnee, was Tibbet in A View to a Kill, so one of Bond's allies. So that's pretty cool as well. Another like quote in quotes one you could call it is I want to say maybe 24. 24, the series with Kiefer Sutherland. Thoughts?
Action.
Action is more of an action show. There's a
action spy.
There's a lot of
espionage.
Espionage. There's a lot of espionage in that. Not that there's gadgets or anything like that, but hey, Kiefer Sutherland and Daniel Craig could get into a real fight. I'd love to see that. Also, I want to mention, we talk about a lot of parodies, a lot of influences. Music, when it comes to James Bond, is huge as well. There have been a lot of artists that have recorded alternate versions of theme songs for Bond. There are people who've recorded original songs, like kind of opera singer Daniel Emmett, who was on America's Got Talent. He recorded his own Spectre theme that wasn't used, but...
No one can run, no one can hide from the man in the shadow, prowling the dark, out in the night. He's your secret protector, your
There are also a lot.
Radiohead did it.
Radiohead did Spectre, yeah. There's a whole bunch of them, and so do you think music has definitely been influenced by all the music heard in Bond?
Absolutely. I've seen music videos, too many to name, but like they have the gadgets, the guns, the Bond girl. Come on, so definitely.
Yeah.
And we have a big name, say Adele, who did Skyfall.
Sure.
There's obviously gonna have to be. You got to capitalize. It's like the commercials. Big franchise, money.
Exactly. Some of my favorites include the parody song I Wish I Was James Bond.
I've seen you on the screen, it's you that I adore. Since I was a boy, I wanted to be like Roger Moore. And I wish I was James Bond, just for the day, kissing all the girls, blow the bad guys away. And I wish I was James Bond, just for the day, kissing all the girls, blow the bad guys away. Roger and Sean and Timmy and George and Daniel and Piers and maybe one day me.
The Four Esquires doing the 007 theme, which is the actual Bond theme with lyrics. That's kind of cool.
If you're looking for trouble, well, you better think twice. 007's gonna put you on ice. Others have tried it, but they all pay the price. James Bond is his name. James Bond is his name. James Bond is his name.
Michael Bubble. Michael Bublé. His cover of Feeling Good. If you watch that music video, it's covered in Bond. There's an Aston Martin. He's a spy.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean.
the sound is there, and the sound is pretty cool. If you hear these 4 notes, if you hear dun 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 dun, if you hear that anywhere, I call that the Bond chord or the Bond notes. It's everywhere in songs.
And just music in general. Like, you'll have, because the songs are so influential, Skyfall, remember that came out? Everyone was doing a parody of, not parody, a cover of Adele.
For sure.
So people, they're good songs, why not sing it?
Yeah.
My favorite is Nobody Does It Better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Which brings us to a thing I'm going to splice in here sometimes. The James Bond sing-off. We did this on the radio show before. So I'm going to show some clips of all 6 actors, and we're going to decide who the best singer was.
Oh, she is my dear, my darling one, her eyes so sparkling full of fun. No other can match the likes of her. She is my dear, my darling one, my smiling and beguiling one. I love the ground she walks upon, my darling Irish girl.
Oh, well, not George Lazenby.
If I conferred with my furry friends, man to animal, there would be no animosity. If I could walk with the animals, talk with the animals, grunt and squeak and squawk with the animals, and they could talk to me.
Guy comes along, singing his song. Don't mess around, you gotta be strong.
Stop.
But I really love you.
Stop.
I'll be thinking of you. Look in my heart and let love keep us together.
Whatever.
So when you're near me, darling, can't you hear me? SOS. The love you gave me, nothing else can save me. SOS. When you're gone, how can I even try to go on? When you're gone, though I try, how can I carry on?
There's a gold mine in the sky far away. We will find it, you and I, some sweet day. There'll be clover just for you down the line, where the skies are always blue, pal of mine. Far away.
So we saw the clips there. Dylan, we heard like Connery singing an Irish tune for some reason. We had Brosnan singing ABBA. We had Dalton singing Love Will Keep Us Together. Who do you think was the best singer?
Say Dalton is the best.
Dalton.
That was before he was Bond.
That was before he was Bond.
Also, you got to realize, when it comes to singing, I'm no expert, but there's passable singing, and then there's not so good singing. I mean, they're all passable. Pierce Brosnan, well, you know,
Yeah.
Mamma Mia, but I mean, it works.
It works, yeah.
But
I mean, George Lazenby didn't sing a note there, and then Roger kind of spoke the lyrics, and then Craig wasn't bad, but so yeah, no,
Dalton.
Dalton, yeah. But so finally, I want to mention these quick films right here that were from a video that you can check out called the Bad Bond Films. You can just look up. This is a whole medley of films that kind of were spy films and bounced off of James Bond in that same era. There's a film called Never Too Young to Die with John Stamos. Okay. The Rat Pack, you know, all those guys did a whole bunch of types of films, like Sammy Davis Jr. did some, Dean Martin did some. In fact, he fought Chuck Norris in one. And you can even say the film they did together, the Ocean's films, are kind of espionage-y, sort of.
More heist.
Heist, yeah, it's a heist, yeah. We have Man from Hong Kong, which has George Lazenby playing a big-time villain. Kind of interesting. And Once Upon a Spy, which was a abandoned pilot who has Christopher Lee returning as a villain, so Man with the Golden Gun. And we even have Ted Danson as this main lead. So how about that for some weird Bond things? And there's another one in there that was a spy film called Our Man Flint, which was a big spy film, and that in itself, along with many other elements, were parodied in my show, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Our Man Bashir. We had Julian Bashir, the doctor, saying,
Bashir. Julian Bashir.
We had Russians, we had gadgets, we had a Bond theme, we had clever Bond girl names.
We have to get to the control room. What? This program ends like the others. Either Kamonanov or Honey Bear will be killed by Dr. Noah. The other's supposed to end up with me. In either case, we have to make sure that both of them survive.
And the big bald Avery Brooks playing Dr. Noah.
You understand, Mr. Bashir, that you should have killed me when you had the chance. I agree. But then again, I suppose it wouldn't be very heroic. I, on the other hand, have no pretensions about the idea of being a hero.
Wait. Maybe I'm tired of being a hero. Maybe I've thought over what you've said and decided that you're absolutely right.
About what?
Everything. The decadence of the world, the need for order. The more I think about it, the more I realize that your way may be the only way.
So it's all there. It's all there.
You,
So
Dr. Noah.
Our Man Flint, the actual film, Our Man Bashir, the parody, which Eon apparently did not like. So that's kind of weird. Well, we crammed in a lot there, Dylan, and I can't thank you enough for coming on the show and talking about all these Bond parodies. Like you saw the list there, there are 1,002 more that we could mention, but we just don't have time. Check out this fun book here, though, if you get a chance. It's called The Wit and Wisdom of James Bond. A lot of good quotes there. And even somebody, I found this at an art fair. It's all the Bond actors on a little snack bag. How cool. So let's end this show like we always do. Let's play Who Are You? All right, so Dylan, as I've mentioned throughout the show, you were on the original radio run of the show, so you know how this game goes. I'm going to play a clip, and you have to tell me who it is and or what is it from. So let's roll the clip.
And keep his vampire mistress away from the poisonous elements.
But Chabella knew of the affair and had herself a mind for murder. Using her own skills with electricity, she laid a trap for Gregor.
Before his plan was complete.
What's up?
All right, so that is the clip. So Dylan, I saw you thinking over there. What's your thought on who that is?
I have no idea.
You have no idea. Any guesses?
No.
No?
I got no.
You got nothing. Not even want to give a funny guess?
No idea.
No idea. All right. All right. Well, hey, you know what? People at home, I bet, have guessed. I even bet our Magic and Tech team have given some guesses. Let's see if anybody's right. Who is that?
And keep his vampire
It
mistress
is
away
James
from the poisonous
Roday
elements.
as Sean Spencer. Yes, in Psych. I've been recently rewatching Psych, and it is a fun show. I wouldn't call it necessarily a Bond parody; it's a straight-up detective show, but it's a good show. And this is Sean doing one of his psychic unveilings there, so that's a lot of fun.
I'm surprised they haven't done a Bond-themed episode.
You'd think they would. They did like Hitchcock. They've done everything. Maybe they have. I have to look that up. I'm sure they have at some point. But yeah, so we have talked about a lot. There are thousands of Bond parodies and mentions out there, and if you know of any, let us know and let me know, and maybe we'll do a part 5. Good Lord, not right now though. As always, I want to point out a few things. I want to give a shout out to Calvin Dyson, Bond Reviewer. Great Bond reviews and fun stuff there. The Bond Bulletin YouTube. There is going to be a documentary coming out in October for 60 years of Bond, featuring clips from me, or at least one. And if you want some more fun Bond adventures, I do audiobooks of the 007 00 Saletti missions, featuring all 6 Bonds and his American sidekick, 00 Saletti. But this does bring us officially to the end of our James Bond summer. I want to thank Christy, I want to thank Dylan for coming on. It has been so awesome to have everybody part of the James Bond summer. Happy anniversary, James Bond, 60 years, it's so cool, and here's to another 60. So until then, my name is Daniel Saletti, this has been As the Real Turns, thank you to the Magic and Tech team, and that's a wrap.